Good morning, School District of Indian River County. This is your Superintendent, Dr. Moore, here with yet another Facebook Live update. Our goal is to ensure as we move through this difficult time, a time of uncertainty, we are transparent, we are upfront, and we continue to engage in the conversation and dialogue needed to ensure when we open our schools on August 24th, whether it be the traditional brick and mortar experience or one of our two virtual options, we are not only health and safety minded, we're providing quality education for all students in the School District of Indian River County. So today we provide an update regarding where we are and some slight modifications or changes to our plan. First, an update looking at our instructional model selection. As you can see here, 67% of our students as it stands today returning to the brick and mortar experience, with 17% in option 2, which is the virtual platform with support from our teachers, homegrown teachers, as well as 16% doing the transitional distance model, which is a bell-scheduled virtual environment. Also, our teachers leading that charge. So when you look here, one of the things that I want to highlight for you is that 98% of our students have stood up, done their research, reflected, worked with their families, and made the selection process. This gives us the answers to put together the schedules to inform our teachers so they know what and how they are teaching, and that's the work they're doing right now. Our teachers have 15 days to work together, to connect to one another, and problem solve to ensure when we open our doors or turn on the computer on August 24th, we are set and ready to go. As we want to ensure an effective opening of schools, one of the things that we're asking, if you come to a decision in which you would want to switch from the brick and mortar option to one of the virtual options, we're asking you to move to virtual option 2, which is the platform-driven process. Virtual option 3 is a class size protected, requires a number of more logistics in terms of creating that particular schedule. So we're going to ask, will you select option 2 as we, from this point forward, going into the opening of schools? And one of the things that we realized in the creation of this plan is that we need to have a little bit more flexibility in terms of your pivot point or return to the brick and mortar experience. So we understand that in option 2, it was initially an 18-week commitment. We have a willingness to be a little bit more flexible as we prepare for the opening of schools and allow families to make decisions in real time that are best for them as it relates to returning to our brick and mortar experience. I want to review today, as mentioned, just some slight modifications and enhancements as our plan to our opening of school plan. Tuesday, I will bring a full presentation to our school board, asking them once again to engage in the dialogue, conversation, provide the much needed leadership to ensure when we open our schools that this plan is current and fluid and aligned to the reality of today to ensure a successful opening. One of the things that we're doing next week is continuing to work together. So as a district team, we will be visiting each and every single school, reviewing our school readiness checklist. This is an opportunity to connect our principals to one another, to identify outstanding practices and share with other principals, while at the same time safeguard and ensure if there's additional work that needs to be done or additional resources that we need to provide as a district, that we have that available to our schools. So we're looking forward to having that additional level of checks and balance in place to ensure we're ready to open on August 24th. In looking at our entry to school plan, we were talking about doing temperature checks, once again, and working with our pediatricians, both at a national and state level, as well as a number of districts around the state. We think we can enhance that particular process. The temperature isn't the first sign or symptom that displays itself, so we need to enhance that by conducting a health screening upon entry, and then when there's an opportunity based on that health screening, we refer that child to our clinic, trained professionals to take the temperatures and complete a thorough evaluation regarding the next steps, whether it's to contact parents or to allow the student to go to class. So temperature checks will not need to be taken for every single student. We can be better by performing a self-check, both the self-check that will be done at home, as well as upon entering school, a connection point for each and every student as they enter the school to evaluate their health and then refer them or place them in the clinic if needed in order to provide additional support, temperature checks taken there by a trained professional in a controlled environment. So we're excited to enhance that process to ensure that we're trying to be as in front of this as possible. In looking at our response to COVID-19 cases, and this is information that we'd like to share and continue to share. When a confirmed case of COVID-19 takes place, we as a district will be informed through the health department or from the individual who is self-reporting that, whether it be an employee or whether it be a parent or guardian. Those individuals will self-quarantine for the predetermined amount of time, up to 14 days, and return as prescribed at the end of that time when they are symptom-free and not displaying any temperature without fever-reducing medication. We will notify individuals as needed. One of the things we want to ensure, if you are a family member living in the same house of someone who has been tested positive, you immediately know that you are going to self-quarantine. You'll notify your supervisor, you'll notify your school principal, and we'll begin to implement the next step of the plan, which we'll talk about in a second. So if you are confirmed, you know that you will self-quarantine. If you are living in the house of someone who is confirmed, you will immediately begin to self-quarantine. We will do the proper notification as well. If you, as we do contract tracing, we will be able to notify individuals who need to self-quarantine. So we have created a process or procedure that we will follow as we work with the health department, do the contact tracing. Those who have to self-quarantine will receive a phone call from an individual in our system notifying them that they need to self-quarantine. Additionally, we want to be transparent and keep everyone informed. We will use our school messenger system when a school has been impacted with a positive case. So this will be us informing you using our messaging system that there has been a confirmed case, but you will receive a personalized phone call if you need to self-quarantine because of the contact tracing that we have done. We also need to be proactive. We have an anticipation or goal of not having to close schools, but we would be ineffective or not in the best service of you if we didn't have a plan in place. So what you see on the screen now is our proposed considerations for school closure. When 5% of a school and staff is identified with COVID-19, or 20% of our instructional staff, we think we need to consider closing that school at that point and then working through the process in order to clean, allow time to take place, and then reopen. So we do have numbers set in order to guide our conversation and thought process in terms of how or when we would need to close a particular school to ensure everyone is safe, and we will not err on the side of caution. We will be proactive. We will make the necessary difficult decisions in real time in order to ensure that we're keeping everyone as healthy and safe as possible. It's also important to note that in planning and preparation for the worst case scenario, which would be a closure and or a quarantine for those in brick and mortar, there's a plan in place. So we will be working to create lessons and provide that information to our students given a possible closure or a possible quarantine. So there will be no break in instruction if this has to happen. If I am a student and I am quarantined for precautionary measures because I was in close proximity to another individual who was identified, that student will be informed, will be able to continue learning the very next day on the platform, knowing exactly what they need to do. We'll take that time on the front end, have those conversations with our students, teacher by teacher. Our teachers will take the time to be prepared to ensure how we're going to inform our students and make sure they know how to access that content and instruction that will be provided. And if a teacher needs to quarantine, they will continue, and if they're able to provide their work functions, they can continue to provide that support to their students in that virtual environment. So we have a plan in place in order never to break instruction. within the brick and mortar environment. So we're preparing for worst case scenario. We're preparing for all scenarios. We'll do this research in the front end. So if we have to do this, you know your school system is ready and prepared to follow the predetermined protocol that we have established. Looking ahead, week of Monday, August 10th, that is the opportunity for schedules and teacher assignments to be made available to you. As mentioned in previous Facebook Lives, we're going through the process now of creating the schedules, all new schedules to maximize social distancing, to place students in their various options. A great deal of training is taking place with our teachers this week and over the next 2 weeks on how to deliver quality instruction within each of those models. So we're excited about that as well. A lot of development taking place. So on August 12th, C&I on Facebook Live, curriculum instruction roundtable conversation regarding options 2 and 3. So this is the opportunity for you as parents and students to connect with the Office of Curriculum Instruction, submit your questions via Facebook Live, and they will answer those questions online. We know there's a lot of questions about options 2 and 3. They are new. They're new to all of us, and we want to ensure that we're having open dialogue and conversation, and everyone is informed. So this is an important opportunity to connect in. We'll be on as long as we need to be on to answer all of the questions and give you a level of comfort regarding the quality of instruction within these particular models. Face-to-face orientations, August 13th and 14th. Please, your school web page providing this information at your school sites. This is an opportunity with option 1, coming in and connecting to the teachers, seeing the social distancing practices that are in place, once again gaining a level of comfort regarding the systems and structures that we've created to ensure our children, faculty, and staff are safe and comfortable. On August 18th and 19th, those will be virtual student orientations, scheduled once again by the teachers at the school sites who will be providing the quality instruction for your children. Additional insight and understanding regarding those 2 models on how to connect and ensure on day 1, August 24th, you're ready to begin instruction within those models. We'll also continue to look back at our website. We're continuing to add information for you to connect with your son or daughter in preparation for returning to school, welcoming messages from all of our principals, orientation times. Don't want anyone in the community to be frustrated because you don't know. You find almost the answers to all of your questions at our webpage, as well as our hotline numbers that are there. We stand ready to support and answer any questions you may have. Staying SID strong for students, staff, and family. We're ready. There's a lot of work yet to be done. There's a lot of preparation yet to be done. We know that this is a fluid situation, but we know together we can get quality education done within each of these 3 environments. This week we had the opportunity of greeting our teachers back to school. They have rolled up their sleeves. They are exploring their new schedules. They are creating innovative ways to connect to students virtually. We're excited. We are excited about the opening of schools. We continue to be in service. We continue to work to provide all of our residents a quality public education system here in the school district of Indian River County. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to connecting to you again. Have a great day.